I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations Podcast. What's going on, baby? It's your man Clever. You know Clever Conversations. And today I have the most beautifulest experience to have the opportunity to speak with somebody who is not only a first cousin, not only a brother, not only a confidant, not only a teacher for the New York system, not only a coach, not only a mentor, not only he traveled the world just giving good advice to people. It is absolutely crazy that I have the personal pleasure of being here today with James Chaney. What's up?
What's up, family? Yes, sir.
What's up, baby?
Oh, man, living a dream.
Long time coming, man.
Definitely.
Long time coming.
Yes, God's grace and mercy. We're here.
Come on, man. So how you been?
Amazing. I've been amazing. Life has been lifing, and in that situation, you either become stronger or you fail to understand what your mission is.
Well, I don't know about your mission, but you look strong, so we just gonna go with that. We just gonna go with that. It worked.
That's baby fat. You know what I'm saying?
So why don't you tell the people a little bit introduce the people to James Chaney.
Well, first and foremost, my name is James Chaney, initially out of the state of New York, but was raised in the South to be learning what it was to go to Savannah State College and later go to ITT, graduating, after graduation, getting to the field of teaching. And I started off as a teacher assistant. And as a teacher assistant, we motivated our way and stayed focused to a point of 23 years in the educational system.
23 years.
Yes, sir. 23 years.
Man.
Yes, sir.
And so, and you're a motivational speaker, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And an author.
Yes, sir.
How many books?
2 books so far.
Okay. What's their titles?
Well, initially one is concentrating on my disability. And with that, I wanted people to know how I lived through those moments to become who I am today.
Okay.
And significantly, the other one talks about being a teacher and grading papers after midnight and feeling ourselves on coffee and coming into that space of making tomorrow better by each individual we come through. Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about family. You have brothers, sisters, any of that?
Initially, I had at one point 5 sisters. Some have passed away. Godspeed on that. Also, I have a son. My son is 27 years old. Yes, sir. 27. And at one point, I was married.
Okay.
And at this present time, I would have to say a bunch of cousins, aunties, and uncles. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's your favorite, though? We'll talk about yes. We'll talk about it off.
All right, don't let everybody know.
So let's one of the reasons that first I gotta thank you for coming all the way from Albany, New York to Savannah, Georgia to sit and have a clever conversation. That is huge. Listen, that is huge. And so for that, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about what was your first book called?
Initially, it talks about being positive with the disability.
All right. So if we can we tell the people like what happened with you? Because a lot of people don't know that. I mean, they see you, muscles. They don't know what's going on with you.
Right.
Could you tell the people a little bit about your story from that, starting as a child?
At the age of 1, I fell from a moving vehicle, damaged my spinal cord. After damaging my spinal cord, there was a small time of me actually having to rebuild myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. There were plenty of operations and scoliosis, pins in my hips, things of that nature. But what that did give me time to do was begin to really think about life. When most people were running around and having fun, I was sequestered to a hospital and I was learning what I needed to learn from there. But there was times in our family has a big spiritual background and going to church and learning about faith and favor. So I locked in on what it was to, one of my favorite sayings is get your mind right so your body could follow. So my mom, she advocated for me daily. You know, she was there tremendously. So kudos to mom.
Kudos to mom. Kudos to mom.
Yeah, definitely. I love her. With that, she never kept me in a position of saying I could not. You know, she believed in me. And there were family members around me that did the same thing, that believed in what I had the capabilities of doing, even though it may have been different. So there was no family members that I couldn't go to the pool. I couldn't hang out with. It wasn't a situation.
You couldn't wrestle and choke me out.
Well,
I still got a scar. Right?
No. Here's a disclaimer. I am not violent. Okay. So anything. We raked yards and we all hung out. Man. I never forget that time we raked the yard and the gentleman, you know, we took flight because things just didn't seem right. You know.
So what a lot of people don't know, a lot of people, he's well known. Like a lot of people know him, and a lot of people know him as Piggy. Growing up, that was his name. And so a lot of people know that Piggy was in a wheelchair, but a lot of people do not know that that stopped him from doing absolutely zero. When we went out as youngsters and raked yards and washed cars, he was there. When we was playing football and tackle in the grass, he was there. When we was wrestling, he was there. When we was chilling, he was. So it wasn't anything. So pretty much, I guess I'm saying that he did not let his disability, if you call it that, control him. He controlled the disability. And so today we have, back then that was Piggy. So today we have James Chaney, who shows you that no matter what your disability was, you can overpower it. If you handle the disability, don't let the disability handle you.
It's a process of lots of concentrating beyond your physical appearance.
Right.
I knew what I looked like, but I had to learn to love myself regardless of what body I was in. So it was self-inclusion. So I had to include myself in this process and not depend on all the outside forces to actually control what was going on with me.
So for people that don't know, you have been in the wheelchair your whole entire life.
Correct.
And how old are you now?
I will be 54
and you
July.
Look good. You look amazing, man. 54. So 53 years you have been pretty much in this position. So what was the school life like? Like growing up in school, middle school, elementary, did you have bullies? Did you have people that just took a straight liking? What was middle school and elementary and high school? What was it like? Let's start from middle school and kind of say, let's work our way up to high school.
Well, I had quite a few buddies, two of them, in fact, and one, he was dear to me, and his name is Paul Farthing. And Paul Farthing. Farthing, yes. Okay. If I remember that correctly.
Okay.
But
if you out there, Paul, he shot you out, baby.
He's a guy. He's definitely the guy. Literally, Paul was so significant because he had red hair. And I was married at the time, and we years later, went to a restaurant. We're sitting there eating, and all of a sudden, this gentleman from afar is looking at me and waving. So I waved back, and he takes his hat off, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Paul.
Still had red hair?
Still had red hair.
Wow.
So I go over to Paul in my wheelchair, and Paul pulls a wheelchair out of the back of the stall he's sitting there. And I'm freaking out like, Paul, what is this? Paul told me that he wound up jumping into a pool and messed up a vertebrae, but it was a real life situation for me that let me know that was still one of my buddies, and wow. I could be a light in his life. Paul went on to work with the Olympics and things of that nature, so it was real uplifting for me. But that's that part of middle school for me. Now, high school, I actually went to Robert W. Groves High School.
Groves
High
Savannah High School? In Savannah High?
Actually, Garden City.
But it's in Savannah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in Savannah. So being there.
That's a high school? I went to the beach. So I'm a
bulldog by right. We're rebels, though. We're rebels and always will be. One of my good buddies there, we all hung out, but I had a brother and he actually did sign language. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool too.
And Glenn was that guy. Okay, he was that guy. He was an ROTC despite his physical abilities, and we all stuck together. Rough Riders.
That's
you know what I'm
cool,
saying?
bro.
I had bullies. You know what I'm saying? But
Bet they won't bully you now.
no. Actually, I invited one of my bullies into a strength contest, more or less.
He didn't know.
No, he didn't know he was getting into.
He didn't know.
He didn't know. So literally, he came into. Well, actually, he was in the hallway. And
Was it an arm wrestler?
No, sir.
Okay,
no,
cool.
sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. I actually saw him coming up the hallway, and I motioned for him to come into the restroom. And then I checked on his sternum to see if he was breathing properly.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and after I saw
everything's good.
He's good. He's
okay,
good.
Paramedics, all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Band-Aids were in place. His buddies then came back to me because I was only I know. And I was under the influence, after being taught by you all, stand up for yourself. Even though I couldn't stand, I was like, I'm going to do this, okay? So he goes back to the room, and he tells all his buddies that we had a confrontation. And I said, when they came and asked me, you and so-and-so I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. But there were times that really I had to buckle down and stay focused because there were distractions.
Yeah.
Our neighborhoods that we grew up in, there was times where we had unfavorable people who made unfavorable decisions and things of that nature. So it was all about family. We stuck together like glue.
Yeah, man.
And that was the cornerstone for all of us being where we are today. Yeah. God's grace and mercy, and a lot of people who believed in us
and prayed for us when we didn't pray for ourselves.
Correct. You know what I mean? And in and of that, life in itself, the bullies don't go away. The faces just change.
Can you say that one more time?
Okay. The bullies don't go away. The faces just change. So there have been job positions I've been in, and there was no inclusion and no equity. And I really had to fight for ADA compliancy, the American Disabled Act. So through all the sunshine, there was lots of rain. But one of my favorite sayings for my players while we're coaching, if we're losing, if we're going through hard times, is play through the rain.
Right.
Play through the rain, because we will be successful on the other side. We just have to understand that those bullies have a job. And in their job, we have a job.
They got their own purpose and the position they're supposed to play in our lives.
Correct. And they squeeze out the greatness in us. Yes.
Come on, you hit me with a lot now.
I'm just sorry.
The bullies
Yeah.
will squeeze out the greatness in you.
Right.
He said it. You heard him say it.
Right.
Wow.
So there were like reasonable moments, because I learned that I was here with purpose. When you find that you have a purpose, for me at least, when I found that I had a purpose, it became a bigger venue in my life. How many people I could help, where could I go and make a difference? And in that, I wind up receiving an award, and from the state of New York. I became the school-related professional of the year for New York State.
School-related professional of the year for New York State, sitting right here having a clever conversation. Where else you gonna get that at?
So it got better, because as a New York State school-related professional for 2024, they invited me to become nominee for the NEA, which is the National Education Association, for a national position. Oh man, I was elated, and they flew me out to Kentucky, gave me a beautiful hotel. I met so many amazing people, and these individuals that were elite in education, and they were fighting so hard to make a difference. And someone as such as myself, I had to look back and be very grateful. I was very grateful. So on the premises of being there for business, I handled myself as such.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Man, that's strong.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
strong, man.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
Another thing is just being a mentor. If you would like to see any of my videos are out there. James Chaney promotional video. You'll see me.
YouTube.
IGs? Yes, you can actually YouTube that.
James
Chaney promotional video.
Okay.
And you'll see me biking and swimming and telling my story, but it's actually pictorial.
Dude, listen. First, it's crazy that you were in a wheelchair and or disabled since you were 1, but now you biking and swimming and driving and like, yo, there's absolutely no weapon formed against you, brother.
Shall prosper. I want to give you one of my biggest things to do list.
Okay.
Well, one of the things on there is I want to fly a plane.
Like be a pilot?
No, like on my own and just go fly.
Well, that's what I mean. You gotta get like pilot license, right? I feel like you. I feel like you need pilot license.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're definitely right.
Even if it's your plane, I feel like
I need some licenses.
Yeah, we're flying at such and such altitude. Like I feel like
I'm living on the edge. No, yeah. No, but
I'm gonna take the bus then.
Okay, take the bus. That's good. I'm good. But that's one of the things that I would definitely like to do. I want to fly, and I'm going to give you this, and I want people to draw in serious to this. I want people to draw in serious to this when hearing this. One of my fears at one time was heights. Don't be afraid to face your fears. Remember that. Don't be afraid. So
the only way you defeat them is face them.
That's it.
That bully in the bathroom.
Ooh.
Only way you was going to defeat him or give him the Band-Aid, whatever is
it's like,
whatever happened. You know, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Right.
I'm supposed to, you know.
Right. And please, as
I got the right to remain silent.
Right. So it can be. He was definitely okay. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely.
So what made you first? What your first? Full disclosure. Full disclosure. He and I shared our first. I would say apartment, but it was like a 6-bedroom house.
Yeah.
It was like 6 or 7 bedrooms.
Anywhere.
We shared our first out of our parents' home together. How was that experience with living with me back then?
It was a teachable moment as far as community, because we drew community. We were that type of energy and soul.
Everybody on our porch, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I believe there was a group called SMOO.
Yeah, Smooth All Over.
Yeah,
it was a group of us, and we had a little thing, and we was called Smooth All Over because logically, back in '88, everybody was smooth in their own way, you know.
Right. I mean, you had your Kango and your good shoes.
Come on now. Come on. I had the good shoes.
I had the patent leather shoes with the MC Hammer. You know what I'm saying?
We had a lot of people come through and goof off with us.
Right.
Tony.
Yes. Patrick. Donna Ray. Yeah. Oh, the Ebony Prince.
Randy.
Yeah. Randy and his brother.
I forget his name.
I want to say.
I forget his name right now.
But we used to have a whole bunch of some of the shields.
We had a lot of people come out, and we was having jam and rap sessions on the front porch.
And it was like that. Literally, what was played was smooth. We had that jazz feel. You had your drummer, your saxophone player.
Yeah.
Okay. Your bass player.
People won't believe that we really did that. Like, that's what we did.
Yeah. And that was today. That would probably be looked at as crazy or odd, or that we belong to a certain artistic group or whatever. But we did it off of merit just to have fun, you know?
And we enjoyed it. And ain't nobody got shot.
No.
Ain't nobody got hurt.
No.
It wasn't you stepping on my shoes.
Right.
It was none of that stuff.
Nah, it was good stuff. And it taught me, you know, independence in a sense. You're out here. You got to learn how to fly. But first, you have to take the opportunity to understand you do have wings.
Yeah.
You have those wings. You have a purpose. So in that, life became amazing in a sense. You know, there was no stopping us.
My first house, I would say apartment, but it was our house. Mm-hmm. Having you as my roommate for my first house was definitely an experience. I had the opportunity to see you focus on your school. I had the opportunity to see you, you know, have a couple of relationship type, you know, I had the opportunity to see you pimp, you know.
But you were key in this. Don't think that you weren't, because remember, we all would hang out at the club and you would tap me and be like, and I'm like, hey, Rick, what's up? And you said education before relation. So I'm the youngest of the group, and you had did what you needed to do in graduating. You was like, yo, you got to go home now. I'm like, man, but the respect that I had, I went on home. I reeled it in, went home, laid low, got myself ready for the next day, because you were a big cousin, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, education before relation, man, go tighten it up, Pat, he would moonwalk across the club. That joker could he could moonwalk. So, yeah, some of my relationships in it, as we digress from that point, was amazing in and of itself. Because that's one of the go-tos a lot of people ask. Do you have relations? Who puts on your shoes? Or, you get questions like that. And in an animated sense, I smile because I know internal, I can't disclose everything. What I'm saying? Right. The names have been changed in order to, So, but
I ain't on nothing.
No. So with that being said and done, yes, there's life and love from a wheelchair. Yeah. And there have been women that really cared for me. As I said and stated, at one point I was married. Some things just don't work out. But
listen, sometimes we have to back up to move forward.
Correct.
If you parked on the street downtown and a car is parked in front of you and a car is parked behind you, there is absolutely no way you can get out of that parking spot unless you go back.
Right.
So sometimes we have to back up to move forward. And so let's talk a little bit about what made you decide or you got into coaching before teaching?
No, actually teaching.
Okay, teaching first. What made you decide to want to get into coaching? I meant to teach, excuse me.
Okay, well, I still remember some words we had as far as bars. And one of those bars was like, if you be a teacher, let me hear you teach. And we grew up in the era of naughty by nature, poor righteous teachers, those individuals. And it was like, and we came through a household of pastors, ministers, and everybody was giving, that opportunity to be heard, but to allow you to feel. So I wanted to change the world. And I knew that I could possibly do it. And I stumbled. Here's the thing. I was going to Savannah State. Big ups to Savannah State College.
Savannah State College. Excuse me. Savannah State University. And I don't know if you heard, but they just got their first young black president. The youngest black president of HBCU.
Okay.
Savannah State.
Understood. I did not know that.
Jermaine Worrell.
Okay.
I think Worrell is how his name is pronounced. Right. Yeah.
So I stumbled into it by going to actual college there. And from that point, one of the big things to do was, if you actually go to school, you got 2 years under your belt, or you are in the in college, you could go and be a teacher's assistant.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and I fell in love with it.
So how was it with being in the wheelchair, being a teacher's assistant? Was your first school middle school, elementary, or high school?
It was middle school.
How was it? Because children sometimes just be children, right?
They care, but they don't care. I like to say that. They care, but they don't care.
They care, but they give zeros, right?
Correct, they do. I think that one of the first lessons I learned was when the kids looked at me and they was like, Mr. Chaney, you got on whammies. And I was like, what are whammies? And those are sweatpants with no pockets. I fell out because the kids were critiquing me. I was
today's age when I found out what a whammy was.
Yeah. So it was big for me because I was like, not only am I considered to be a teacher, but they can teach me.
And at this moment, while at school, you're the old guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But
you are the old guy right now.
Correct. Now I work in high school. And I'm that guy. I am a disciplinarian, and I do in-school detention. So when the kids come in, I told my higher-ups, I don't run a penitentiary. I am not a warden. I am an educator. So when they come through, I want to hear what's wrong. Because sometimes the surface issue is not what's really happening.
Right.
Their behaviors are, or the way they're perceived is impacted because there's something else going on. So when they come in, I want them to know this is a place that you're welcome.
And that also dives into the big brother, the mentorship side of you, being able to listen and pay attention and understand that sometimes it's not surface, but it's depth.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not the top of the iceberg, like you were saying earlier.
Yes, sir.
It's the weight of the ice that's below the water that you can't see.
Correct.
So I'm sure that your skills worked perfect for that particular situation.
Literally, I was drawn to tears. A young man came in, and I didn't really have an opportunity to deal with him inside of the in-school room. Literally, outside of my room, when the children transfer classes, detention or not, I go to the front door, open it up. I want them to know your friends are in here. I want them to come visit, see what's going on. I want them to understand that we're educating in this space. So this young man would pass, and I'd say hi to him, tell him, man, I like the way you dress, man. And at the end, or let me say the beginning of his quest of graduating, because there's so much that exists after that, he came to me and he was like, I'm going to miss you. I want to be like you when I grow up. Brother, I was like, yeah, I had to really pull it in. And I told him, I was like, man, don't make me cry, man. I was like, don't do that to me. He was like, and he wanted to assert a sense of not being weak. But I told him it's not about that. You are voicing what's on your heart and your spirit. So it's moments like that that are like really moving moments in my life, knowing that when I report back to work in a few days, my room door needs to be open. If not, the kids will knock on the door. I'm not opening it. I know you in there. I'm not going anywhere till you open this door. So,
dude, but that's gotta the feeling to know that you affected high school students, right? And because high school students is a different breed than elementary and middle school.
yes, sir.
Right. So the feeling to know that you affected a high school student in that manner has to just feel good.
It does.
Because that is the time when grown-ups don't know anything. I know everything because I'm in high school. I'm graduating. I know everything about the world. They're crazy.
Right.
But to have somebody say, you know what, I'm going to miss you, and for them to take what you give them, that's like the whole it takes a village deal, right?
Yes, sir. I want to say without a shadow of a doubt, 23 years, there's been some great stories. There's been heartaches. There's been moments of remembering who I am and where I come from. Because remember, bullies don't go away. Their faces just change.
Bullies do not go away. Their faces just change.
I've had administration that didn't like me. I've had individuals who couldn't conceive my passion. You know, I didn't believe in the failure of some children. So I required.
Where some people probably was like, they're not studying, let them go. They're not going to be anything, whatever.
Right.
You didn't subscribe to that.
No, sir. Show up to the games. I'm there. You know, I'll never forget, I left here, I was doing subbing here, and I made the kids a promise when I first went to New York, okay? And I went to New York to break a curse. Me and my wife, we were going through, and she had moved up there, and I was like, I'm going to follow, and we're going to see that we can work this out, at least for the kids. So I promised the children here at school that I would return for their graduation. And we hot-footed it back here. I got off the bus. I took a Greyhound bus, rolled into the gym, and they were sitting there. And they were graduating, and they turned around, and it was like, he's here, he's here, he's here. One of the moving moments for me is that a child came from that gym, and I said, hey, are you okay? He's like, no, my parents didn't show up. I looked at him, I said, one of us did. I said that to him, and he was like, he got it. He got it. He understood. I returned with purpose.
That's deep, bro.
Yeah.
Do you, from your years of experience and your years of being in the education system, do you have one kid, name or not, that nobody thought was going to make it? Even maybe you at times thought like, yo, this is... I don't know about this one.
Right.
But then to ultimately see them excel to levels beyond what anybody thought. Have you had that experience?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A young lady, she would come in and she cared, but she didn't care. Okay.
She cared, but she gave zeros.
Yeah, she did. I love that. Okay. So she would come in, and as she came in school, we're sitting there and we're processing, who's late and who's not or whatever. And they would talk to her, and she would drop every word she could that was not positive. I don't care. I'm not, so, right. So I got with her one day. She's coming down this hallway, and I said, "Have you ever tried out for basketball?" And she gave me this look, and she started laughing because, "Mr. Chaney, stop it. You believe in me to play basketball?" I said, "Yeah, I want you to play for my team."
I was saying, were you coaching at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I made her my team captain. I gave her a purpose.
You gave her purpose.
You know what I'm saying? When most people are just like, "Oh, she's just rude." They didn't understand that she really, really cared. But they had to give her an opportunity to show she cared. So one of my favorite sayings was, sit on that jersey. If there's somebody in front of you and you're defending them and they're behind you, be so close that you know if they move, you move.
Just like that?
Just like that. So she says to me, she would yell out, "Sit on the jerseys." And she's telling the other girls. Well, one day it came to a point where she was just acting erratic. And I said, "You're going to miss a game." The rest of the students, the rest of the team felt so vexed at that. They was like, "Mr. Chaney, why are you doing that to her?" Not only did I give her purpose, but I gave her people that cared.
Purpose, people, and position.
Correct.
Of power.
Correct. So when I saw her and she grew up, she was like, "Oh, Mr. Chaney," she still understood that I'm in her corner, So we get to see our students progress.
I'm sure that is just a beautiful thing, man, to see somebody who you mentored or educated, and then now you see them older and moving, and like, yo, I'm proud of you.
Correct. I even came back when coaching, to show other people. So there is a college in New York, and it's called Siena College, and it's a Franciscan college. And their athletic director is amazing. He has mentored me in a sense, and that they call me the hype man. Okay. So we would actually yell out, if there's got 300-400, campers, and I'm yelling out, "Whose house?" And they all would say, "Our house." So it got to a point where I'm doing motivational speaking that one of the big coaches, he came up and he was like, giving me kudos. And some of my friends who knew me as being a motivational speaker, they text me. They was like, "I guess your prices just went up." I was like,
today's price is not yesterday's
prices. So, I mean, in it and of it, it wasn't about the money. It was so much about planting those seeds of success, because those children, when they saw me come in that gym, I looked different from everybody else. He's sitting there in a wheelchair. So with the athletic director of Siena College, never giving up on me, believing me, give me purpose and position, okay, and power, okay. There were times that there were people there, those bullies.
With the different phases.
Yeah.
I got you.
Who is he? Who made?
What is he doing up here?
Right.
Why is he important?
Right. So I
don't know.
No. So, and I got to work with some of the greats, Mitch Bonagaro, Jamel Grant Samuels. I got to work with so many of these athletes, and also the coaches, that their figures didn't matter, but their mentorship did.
Right.
I didn't want them to show me how to make the money. I wanted them to show me what it was to be in position. Because sometimes people get the position, but they don't know how to maintain that position.
Yes, sir.
So literally that's what it was for me when working and having an opportunity to be with some of the greats.
So let's talk a little bit about your first experience with mentoring. Your first experience, the first time you went out to mentor, how was that experience? Were you nervous?
No.
Really? Not the very first time? You wasn't nervous to be out in front of people?
No.
Okay.
No. With that, it was for a car dealership. And literally, I went to the car dealership and I was talking to them in reference to let's forget the numbers that's on the paper and treat the people that come through your door like family. So what I did do is express to them I had this doll. And this doll was given to me by a young lady who didn't even know me. But her mom was in the mall with her and she said, "Mom, can I give him this?" And I was like, the feeling behind that was I was family. So I expressed to them, you never know a person's situations when coming into your car dealership. Treat them like family and you'll always have a customer. And you may not have that primary customer right there, but you'll have someone in their line of friends, families, and associates by word of mouth.
Yes, sir.
So when I did that, I did have one nervous moment, if you want to know that one.
I do.
Okay. I was actually, there was a opportunity for me to speak to a NYSUT group. NYSUT is New York State Teachers Union.
Okay.
And this was an opportunity to do motivational speaking. So I get there, they roll my video, and as they're rolling my video, James Chaney's promotional video, and it's playing, I'm there in my logo. I had a logo on and everything, and I'm just, playing. But I'm seeing all these suits and these ties, and I'm like, I'm really here in front of them.
Right.
But it gave me an opportunity, because afterward, the video played, they wanted me to speak. And these butterflies were going everywhere, because I was like, you met your boss, but you've met your boss.
Right. Right.
So this was actually the board that governs NYSUT. And me sitting there in front of them, it was like a dream come true, but in a sense of understanding that I just wanted to be able to say the right thing without overselling myself in a sense of education. So I was asked a question, well, what would I tell someone who was just entering the educational field? What would I tell a young person who would like to get into education, but they haven't gone to school for it yet? I was like, I think about investing. So if it's investing, you're looking for the residuals. The residuals are your doctors, lawyers, judges, your attorneys, your teachers, your teacher assistants, your security officers, your police officers. That's your residual. You'll get to see later on that you've done such a great job that all of these individuals exist. A mom, a dad, a cousin, a sister. All of those individuals have come through the portal of education.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. So, as a coach, excluding the young lady, what was your proudest moment as a basketball coach? Because first, I'm sure, please help us, please let the people know, how did that come about? Because me being a principal, you come into my office, hey, Mr. Willis or Rick or whatever, I want to be a coach. And I'm like, you want to be a basketball coach, but you're in a wheelchair. How can you know this? I'm sure that a lot of people would look at your situation through that lens.
Understood.
But explain how that process worked from you saying that you wanted to be a coach to now I'm coaching high school or middle school or whatever. Explain to the people how that process went.
Well, initially when it all started, I have a really good friend. His name is Jamal Grant Samuels. He's actually a coach and he comes from the city. So him and I were talking one day and he said, look, you need to get your an opportunity to make more money. And I was like, well, so how are we going to do this? So he says, well, there's an after school program. You can conduct it. So it was fitness. So we was in the gym.
Oh, you definitely know fitness.
So we were in there and we're lifting weights and I got the kids. And I told the kids the school was so big, you can run up one flight of stairs, run down the hallway and come down the other. And I was like, look, as long as you're able to beat me down the hallway, you guys don't have to run any more laps. Well, I took flight. I was rolling my wheelchair, but that led to that program, as I digress slightly, it led to me getting my coaching certificates. And once I got my coaching certificates, that was one of the biggest pieces there.
Right.
And then I had people who believed in me, and it was like, look, we have an AAU program, which is the athletic union program where you allow kids to play different sports. So in and of that, I go back to Mr. D'Angelo. You know what I mean? And excuse me, that's wrong. Mr. D'Argenio. Mr. D'Argenio is the athletic director for Siena College.
Okay.
Literally, him believing in me to be in front of so many influential people and families that send their children to this camp was a battery that boosted me. And it gave me that energy to be like, if I did that there, where else could I do it?
Right.
You know? So Mr. D'Argenio, I really appreciate everything that he's ever done for me. It's been a total of 18 years I've worked with Siena College, and that is upstate. Again, they're a Franciscan college, but with
Mr. Argenio.
Mr. D'Argenio.
Mr. D'Argenio, we appreciate you for believing in James. We believe in him, and you see what you believed in, and the chance that you gave him, you see how it turned out, brother. Good call.
And lighting, I would always let him know about some of my successes. So when I was doing my first videos and things of that nature, I went to him, and, you know, I consulted in him. Where most people have to, you know, get appointments to see him.
Right.
I was that one that would just roll into his office, and they'd just smile, James, how you doing? How are you doing? You know what I mean? So he understood that drive,
Right.
and he helped me so that I might be able to go and approach those people. But New York State has a really big movement on equity and inclusion.
Okay.
So that keeps them off the chopping block with being sued
To
and
the
things of
naked
that.
ear, what does that mean?
Okay, inclusion,
Equity and inclusion.
equity and inclusion is one of the ways that positioning politically and also governing the capabilities of families, despite their financial, their gender, their disability. Yes, might have the capability of being out there and serving the public.
All right, so let's get into how was the dating life? We understand that you've been married, so how was the dating life? Why you start laughing? How was your dating life?
I cannot confirm or deny anything, Your Honor. No, but it was amazing because there are people out there who didn't mind a wheelchair.
Yeah, I didn't see no
Much
problem.
like-
I didn't see you had no problem.
Much like
There was Linda, Felicia, Lisa, Letitia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, and Alicia, Cookie. Or you met her in the ice cream parlor.
what I would have to say with that is that life and love in a wheelchair consists of so much, and it was intricate because one thing they would say is they like my smile.
Right.
Okay. And then eloquently putting time and position was the key to everything.
Yeah.
So never to say that it was a moment where, you know, there was always this feeling of love. And there was this one young lady that I was nuts over. I was crazy over. Then I learned that, you know, puppy love is puppy love. And then you grow up and you get into real life relationships. So I've had some relationships. And there are things that people just naturally and innately feel that you have capabilities of or you don't. So there was always a safe haven, you know, around certain folks, but and I'm dancing around it.
I got you.
Okay, I'm dancing around it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I get the shuffle.
Because Widow's fans.
Widow fans.
You know what I'm saying?
But, all right, so let's talk a little bit about let's do something fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you two options.
Mm-hmm.
You pick one
Okay.
and tell me why.
Okay.
Jay-Z or Nas?
I would say Jay-Z.
And why?
Because he's held his business structure together. And it seems like he's a man about business. And I really don't know too much about Nas.
Okay.
Right.
MC Light or Queen Latifah?
I would have to say MC Light. And why? Because I always like that verse. You know what I mean? I'm not a faith healer or a witch doctor. Won't sell you dreams. Okay? So, yeah. So
Light, that's that good light.
Yes. But I can only do what they allow me to. Well, you got no soul? Well, that's a tough one. Ooh. So
You still got it.
Soul.
So I know you used to spit back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Are you still throwing words around now, or are you kind of like doing something different with life right now?
Yeah, I'm sequestered to that space in my head where sometimes you have to let it go.
Okay.
When it's on your heart and you see that there is something to be said.
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't write it down, but as I'm driving, you know,
say it.
in my space, I'm like, okay, that's it. I got that.
Yeah. I like it. Drake or Kendrick? And why?
Drake, because I like the fact that he wears an owl and on his brands. And that in itself, to me, is symbolic of wisdom, you know, and the way he's moving.
Yeah, I had that conversation with a lot of people, and a lot of people like, Kendrick. So I was on social, and that question was given, Drake or Kendrick. And so this one girl said, Kendrick. I said, well, outside of this song, what is your favorite Kendrick song? Well, I can't think of it right now. How do you say he's the best, but you can't think of none of his songs?
Right.
That's bandwagoning.
Okay.
She was just riding with everybody else. Kendrick, you know, but that's just my take.
Right.
All right, let's get into this. What would you say is one of the greatest songs ever written? And it could be now, it could be something of the old days. One of the greatest songs that has ever been written.
Corey Hart, Never Surrender.
Okay.
You know, and he's in this song, he says, just a little more time is all we're asking for. You know what I mean? He says, nobody wants to show you how. Nobody wants to know you now, but you can never surrender. And I love that because...
Is it, what genre of music is it?
I would say it was like pop music.
Okay.
Pop music. But Corey Hart, he also wrote, I Wear My Sunglasses at Night.
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can... Okay. Yeah.
Keep watching. No.
Yeah. I'm going to say...
Yeah.
One of the greatest songs ever written, one of my greatest songs ever written, was written by Sting from The Police.
Right.
It's called An Englishman in New York.
Uh-huh.
And one of the reasons is because he goes into like, he said, I don't like coffee. I take tea, my dear.
Uh-huh.
I like my toast brown on one side. You can hear it in my accent when I'm talking. I'm an Englishman from New York. And so he goes into it, and then one of the hook is be yourself no matter what they say.
Right.
Be yourself no matter what they say.
Right.
He said pretty much like a gentleman will walk but never run from a fight. He'll try to not do it. But the song is called Englishman in New York, and you got to check it out, right? Because the groove, it's got a groove, and then it goes into a boom, 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 chop, boom, boom. I was like, I'm in.
Okay.
And so, but the main reason that I like the jam is because it's first is Sting, right? Second is because he goes into be yourself no matter what they say. And that's what I post on my social as my tagline. Be yourself no matter what they say.
Can you explain to your viewers what this is?
Okay, so that was the bass me. That was like thumping from a bass guitar. Really though?
Yes.
That was like thumping from a bass guitar. So
can you elaborate on that? You are a bass player, correct, sir?
I play at bass. I'm not a bass player. You got me?
It's like,
This is only the view of me, Clever the MC. I am not a bass player. I play at bass. I also play at drums. I also play at keyboard. I also play at saxophone. But I am not those. This was just you. Why did you do that?
Because I remember sitting in church and I heard doom, 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 doo 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 doom, 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 doom. I was like, is that Skin Tight?
Yeah, but I had just learned it, so that's not really fair. But nobody sung it though. So.
Okay, I was like, is that Skin Tight?
But I had just learned how to play it, so don't do that.
Okay, that was nice. Boop, doop, boop. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I like that.
So full disclaimer. His mother, my mother, and the sound guy's father, all brothers and sisters. So we are all, when I say we are family, we are all blood. Like all, we got the same grandparents. So
for real though.
So let's do this. Since we switch into family, let's talk about give me 3 cousins that you could not be sitting next to in church. If something crazy was to really happen. Let's say the pastor is talking and his teeth fall out.
Oh,
of his
Jesus.
mouth,
Oh,
and
Lord.
His teeth come out of his mouth. Give me 3 of our cousins. You put them on blast, too.
Yeah.
3 of our cousins that you could not be sitting next to if that happened.
Okay.
You can't pick me, though, because...
You sure? Because you would, all 3 of us would do this. Yo, it's like, did you see that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So give me 3 cousins.
Okay, I would say hey, there's a list of them. There's a whole bunch of them.
I need only three. I just need 3.
Okay, that's just out of order.
It don't no particular order, just 3.
Does this okay? I would have to say you, and I definitely would have to say Pookie. Oh, sorry, Mr. Williams. Yeah, I would definitely have to say that. And who else would definitely act up? I would have to say probably, and she ain't my cousin, but my sister Sash. Sash would cut up. Sash would be like, you know what I'm saying? Definitely.
I'm going to say my 3.
Okay.
That I could not be in church with if that happened, not be sitting next to.
Okay.
And that's going to be, of course, you, Denise Mackey, and Nikki.
Okay.
And Nika Williams. Because Denise and Nikki gonna laugh so hard till they cry. But I'm gonna be trying to stop them from laughing. And then
but you know
Denise, Nikki, I called y'all out.
Yeah. You know who would be classy with it though?
Who?
Kamisha. But Kamisha still would be like
low key.
Yeah. And then she'll
go in, though.
Yeah, she'll tell us later. Did y'all see that? And we're like, oh, we
Mish
saw
gonna laugh.
Yeah.
She just gonna do it sophisticatedly.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Very classy. Like,
hey man, we have 100 million cousins, man. Our family is so big.
All over.
Our family is huge, man.
Yeah. Gifted though. The talents are amazing.
We got a lot of stuff, man. I had the opportunity to sit with Till the Sunrise and interview him. I had the opportunity to sit with James Moore and Tia Acker, who's family on that. I had the opportunity to sit with Ant, the musician's musician.
Yes.
So, and I had the honor to sit with Shalonda. She's already wrote like 18 books.
Yes.
And I had the pleasure of sitting with you. So I'm getting the opportunity to let the world know what I know about my family, and that is just that people in our family are making moves.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Because you got a lot of people that just don't make moves in like life, right? But then you got some family members that's out here that's making moves, that's doing stuff. You got some family members who people look at like he's in a wheelchair. He's not gonna be successful. Not to not know that he's gonna be the teacher of the year for the New York State, that he's gonna be a motivational speaker getting flued out.
Yes, sir. That's
to
big.
Teach and talk to people and to come to companies and help companies understand how to promote and market their brand. Who's gonna have a 27-year-old son who's gonna have opportunity to help teach schools and teach at schools. Like, people don't know, right? When we were younger, nobody never knew that would happen.
I also do something called the Sticks and Stones.
May break my bones, but work. Oh, sorry.
So our Sticks and Stone program it actually highlights, the exclusive piece of equity, and when saying that, like, I'm a presenter, we get up there and we talk about how social media or media in general may highlight, you may see different two genres. You may see a person in a wheelchair in the ad and a person who's walking in the ad, not even understanding that both of these individuals are literally one and the same. They may share the same professional background, but they'll look at the person in the wheelchair like, so there's been times, and I'll never forget my first time of being turned down on a job, and it was for insurance purposes because of my disability. Now, if I knew then what I know now.
Yeah, because I got a good lawyer for you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I do indeed. With his
I got you. We'll
okay,
get it.
okay. So when it was said and done, it's like those moments of moving forward. Also, I'd like to share with you that people put limitations on you. You know that, right? A lot of people don't understand about spinal injuries, and that according to where the spine is damaged, it will dictate how much movement you have in your body. So Christopher Reeves, God rest his soul, he fell off a horse. So his spinal injury was severe to the point that he could not move his lower extremities. So with me, where my injury is, and with working out and therapy and all these things, I have some mobility. So there are people who look and say, you can walk. We're not understanding that.
Yeah, I think you be cooch footing sometimes.
No. One of my favorite is the kids saying, Mr. Chaney, when you go home, you pull the shades down and everybody don't know, but you be walking around. And I'd be like, what?
So segue into that. Let's talk a little bit about how the driving became a part.
Well, you allowed me to drive Ghost with you. You don't remember that? He had a truck called Ghost, okay? And that was his favorite truck, okay? He was like, look, Pig, my nickname, Piggy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to control the foot pedals, right? But you got to control this. So he had his foot over here.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Mr. Officer.
Yeah. And it was all
Allegedly.
good. But when the driving came about, I was there. There's a family, the Tippins family. If you recall them, we stayed on Marpus Avenue, and I had gotten my first car, 1977 Chevy Camaro with a straight six.
I remember.
I loved it like it was crazy, and it had holes in the floor, so we fixed everything, And they petitioned to help me get those hand controls. We got them. We paid for professionals to put them in, and afterward, I was driving with hand controls. And from that point forward,
So your brake and your gas was on hand.
One actual rod that came up from your accelerator and your and your brake. And if you push toward the floor, it would accelerate. If you push forward like this, you would brake. So that was really big for me with driving. And then from that point, one of my practices was playing drums at church.
You need your leg a little bit?
Yeah, getting a little bit of that strength up. So it helped the calf muscle, but then it would slide off and I'd miss a beat, put the right foot back on. And y'all would look at me like, you want to stay with us? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was my foot,
Oh, goodness.
So the stronger the foot got. So now, as I drive, this is a significant piece of the body you're in. You're more than just one part. So the average person in a wheelchair has something called drop foot. You lift your foot and your foot just drops, so your leg drops. Well, when I put my foot onto the pedals, I actually can feel in my quad muscle here a tension. And when I feel the tension, it actually makes me know that my foot's in the right place. So I'm driving with 3 muscles opposed to just zoning out. Because some people, you do things so long, it becomes second nature.
Right.
Me, I'm paying attention to my quad muscle. Did it tighten up? Or is that foot slipping or whatever? So I no longer use hand controls. I push myself to that level.
So you drive a car just with nothing, just with no kits or no nothing.
Well, the question is, how do I drive, right? 1 mile at a time, officer. No. No, literally.
I'm gonna pull you over for that.
Right.
Speed limit 40.
Yeah. So,
No, but man, that is so right now on your car, you don't have any kits. You just drive.
yes, sir.
Come on, man.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on, man.
Yes,
the
sir.
blessings, brother.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Pushing myself to the next limit, you know.
So all right. So this just came in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember coming to my house? And I think I had like a lizard or a snake on the floor or something when you walked.
It was a roach.
And you walked in the kitchen.
I walked.
No, well,
Okay.
you came.
There goes my disability.
Allegedly, he can't walk, people.
This
And
guy.
you came in the kitchen, and then you seen it, and you took it out.
Yeah. It was not for me. Sometimes you got to know when to say when. You got to know when to say when. Yeah.
Oh, Pig.
Yeah.
He was not having it.
No, not that day. Next week. No. Sometimes you got to know when to say when.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I love you to life, Kim.
No doubt. No doubt. We seen some things, man.
Oh, man. We experienced some good stuff in life, man.
No, Rick,
Experience.
do you remember we went to eat Crystals? I was telling Pookie about this, and you had those chili cheese fries, and we all strolled over there, and we didn't drive, and you came out there and you started doing. You was like,
I was itching for the chili.
I was like, Rick, what's wrong? Man, I feel rashy. I was like, what? He said, I feel rashy, man. I don't know. I said, what is going on with you? Yo,
The chili cheese fry made me itch, bro. It wasn't right.
oh, that was crazy.
Do you remember me, you, and Swan going to see Edward Scissorhands? And
Oh, God. He was in the back seat. Oh,
you all in the movie theater.
he was like, what are you doing?
So I talk about that all the time, bro.
Really? Oh, that was good
goodness.
stuff. That was good stuff.
Man, listen.
Good times. Good times.
Well, tell the people, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you taking your time, man. Please tell the people if they wanted to get in touch with you or reach you, how can they do that?
You can hit me up at pointofempowerment.com. That's pointofempowerment at gmail.com. All right. And that's empowerment spelled EMPOWERMENT at gmail.com. You can drop me a line, text me, let me know how you doing. 518-528-4181. Okay, that's 518-528-4181.
How about your socials?
000 Yes, yeah.
Not your social numbers, your social media.
Oh, okay. Yo, so here we are. Instagram, James Chaney, Point of Empowerment. And you'll see there, these are some of the things that I do. Please take the opportunity, look up James Chaney and Google these. You can Google them. James Chaney, Albany, New York. That's CHANEY, Albany, New York. And you'll see me being honored as the school-related professional of the year. James Chaney promotional video. That's a video we put out giving my story, pictorial video.
And if they wanted to buy your books, how can they go through your books?
Please send me an email and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. We're working with our printer to get them out.
I like it.
Okay. And literally, if it's to be said and done, when it's all said and done, we do give back to the community. I am a community activist in the sense that we find those who may need, and we never know how we're going to do it. I did at one point have a non-for-profit called Point of Empowerment. Okay. And there is a video out there that shows us supplying medical assistance to one young lady who beat cervical cancer. Yeah. So that's The Power of Giving, episode 1, Anna, ANNA. Google it, you'll see what we do out there.
Listen, man, the important thing, the way that I receive a lot of my blessings, I feel, I feel like the way that I receive a lot of my blessings is because I don't hesitate to give back.
Yes, sir.
And so I've been lucky, or let's say blessed, to be around, like even at my main job, the guy I work for, give back.
Right.
Give back. It is always, when you give back, you always win.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you don't win today, You might not even win next week.
Right.
But you ultimately win because giving back is showing selflessness.
Yes.
And so I'm all about it, man. And so if Clever Conversation podcast could ever do anything to help while you're doing your missions, while you're doing your motivator speaking, while you're doing any of your things, please do not hesitate to reach out. Let us know where we can potentially be a sponsor or something. We would definitely like to promote everything that you're doing, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah. More than you will ever know. I really do, man. And I'm watching you out there, man. I can see you. I can see you. I love it. And the kids love you too, man. And that, you know what? Let's give kudos to you in your scenario. You came and picked me up one time I came here, make sure I got where I needed to go, and 2 people saw you. And I accept you as just family. This is my cousin Rick coming out here. And they were like, oh my God. Oh. And I was like, are you okay? Yo, Rick, you know these people? And they was like, it's you. And they asked you to actually take the opportunity to say some of your lyrics and your verses, and they saw your commercials. And I was like, this is Rick Boat. And I say that as to go back to, you've always been family. And you know what I'm saying? Maintain that genuine piece of you, man, because we all appreciate you. You know what I mean? Even though we go out at restaurants and you be like, watch him, he still forks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what?
He's going to take your salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah, you watch him. Yeah, so I mean, those moments. Keep being you, man.
I can't. You know what? It's so difficult for me to be anything other than me, man. Like I could be me easy every day, even though like Wednesdays and stuff. It's just easy for me to be me. I'm a clown. I like to have fun. I enjoy my family. I enjoy my friends. I enjoy meeting new people, and I'ma just enjoy this trip, man. Because we only get to go one time.
I mean,
so I'm enjoy it.
That's cool.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
Well, I heard of this cat. He was tougher than leather. I think they called that kid, his name was Clever.
We'll see. My friends called me clever because they said I was gifted. I never thought I was better, just always knew it was different. I couldn't hide in the crowd, P. There's no doubt. See, I tried it a few times, but it didn't work out. More bars in the prison. It's just the way that I'm living. I'm taking my opposition and making them sit and listen. Got a problem with clever. Don't be a coward to say that, but don't be talking reckless on tracks. I'm not going to play that. I hit them in the head with the verse. I make them lay back because I bought my vowels from Vanna, then asked Pat not to say Jack. I'm the man in my city, and I don't care what he think. Why would I chase his girlfriend, P? I don't even chase my drinks.
I love it.
Hey, listen, man, we appreciate y'all for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment. Okay, I said it, right? I said it?
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Listen, man, we appreciate you. We want to end every video by saying 2 fingers, 1 love.